All right, not everyone's happy with the president's compromise on the debt issue, but the deal struck yesterday seems to be headed for the House and Senate later today. We're going to get the view from the White House now from senior Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett. Ms. Jarrett, thanks so much for joining us. Well, let me ask you, why are so many members of the president's party disappointed with this deal?
Well, look, it's not perfect, but it's very important. We're here on the 11th hour. It's important that the bill gets signed to provide the kind of certainty that we need so much. The president's top priority, as you know, jobs and the economy. And what we've heard from many of your viewers over the course of this last couple of weeks is how important it is to have a solution that takes us through 2013. That was important to the president. He delivered on that. And it was also important that we not bring down the deficit on the backs of those who are most vulnerable, senior citizens, people with disabilities, people most in need of those safety net. And so is it ideal? No. But is it the grand bargain that the president wanted, where we would have had more deficit reduction balanced with revenues? No, but it certainly is exactly what we needed to avert a disaster, and it would have been a disaster if this bill doesn't move forward. So we're hopeful that it will. We're hopeful that the president will sign it as soon as it passes both houses, and then we can move on and start focusing on so many other issues that are important to our economy, from the trade deals to patent reform to an infrastructure bank that would allow us to have public dollars leveraged with private sector dollars and put Americans to work. We have a lot to do.
There certainly sounds like a busy agenda that you have in Washington.
We have a lot to do.
Let me rewind just a little bit there before we get into trade deals and what else is on the economic agenda, and talk about what you really accomplished with this deal. You did raise the debt ceiling, but it's only temporary, or you're going to have to have another conversation in 2012 around that. You didn't close the deficit. There's no guarantee that a better deal will come along anytime soon. We did just hear from Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid saying sort of hell yes, a more comprehensive deal would have to be worked on soon. So is it back to the drawing board after this deal gets voted on?
No, not at all. First of all, we did get a longer-term solution than the House bill proposed. The House bill would have had us having this conversation again during the Christmas holidays, this year holidays. We managed to have a solution until 2013. That's a very important point. Secondly, we were able, $1 trillion is a very important down payment, and we have a mechanism in place with this super committee, bipartisan committee, that will be charged with coming up with recommendations by Thanksgiving, and Congress will have to act by December 23rd. And because of the triggers, both sides are incentivized to come up with meaningful solutions to avoid the triggers. So I think we have a path to a long-term solution, and if everyone will work together in a bipartisan way with a spirit of compromise, we think we can really deliver on behalf of the American people. So I think there is cause to be optimistic.
Ms. Jarrett, you have talked about the markets, as has the president, as well as many other politicians, about the markets and the reaction to what is happening in D.C. When you look at what is happening today in the markets, we're seeing stocks fall pretty precipitously. We're seeing treasuries actually trade up. We're seeing yields go lower and lower, at least on the long end. What do you make of that? Is that a reaction, do you think, to what is happening in D.C.?
It has been a very, very tumultuous last couple of weeks. And the fact that the United States, for the very first time, got this close to the edge of a default on our full faith and credit is going to cause some turmoil in the markets. But we do have a solution before us. I think everybody is just jittery until the president actually signs the bill. But all indications are that when the United States does what it has always done and stands behind its full faith and credit, we will see a calmness coming. And that's what we're hearing from businesses around the country, is that they're all just hanging with bated breath, waiting for that final act of the signing of the bill. But you can't ignore the fact that we came very close to the precipice.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Jarrett, for joining us. We have to leave it there. Do appreciate you taking time out of what I'm sure is a very, very hectic and busy day for you.
My pleasure. Pleasure speaking with you, Lisa.
Thanks so much. That was President Obama's senior advisor, Valerie Jarrett, speaking with us about the White House's perspective on what is happening in D.C. today.